Welcome to Inwood Artworks On Air, where we shine a light on the musicians, filmmakers, writers, and artists of all stripes that make their home in or around the neighborhood of Inwood in New York City. I'm Aaron Sims.
I'm Jonathan Bell.
And this is Live and Local. So, Live and Local is a program where we're joined by musicians from Northern Manhattan to talk about what they're up to, and best of all, to hear their music. So, who is with us today, Jonathan?
Today, Aaron, Live and Local welcomes Inwood's one and only Samantha Echo. Samantha has been described as, quote, Comic Con's Kate Bush, end quote, and her music as, quote, somewhere between dangerous and whimsical, end quote. By her own account, she just may be the bastard child of an acid-induced one-night stand at the Chelsea Hotel between Leonard Cohen and a Disney princess.
I wonder which one.
Or, if that's a bit much to process for you, a female Morrissey, in that her music will depress you, but in a good way. We couldn't be less depressed to have her with us today on Live and Local.
And here she is, Samantha Echo.
This is for all the gentlemen in glasses. You know who you are. Wednesday guy is a nervous clown with a nerdy soul. He's got glasses thick as a window pane and his hands are cold. He knows a lot of big words, but he doesn't know any sentences. He couldn't love me if he studied me. Oh no. Wednesday guy makes me feel like I'm in New York again. Takes me back to my younger days before boys were men. He has a smile that cuts through his face like a gash in his misery. It's a smile he gives to everyone, not just me. I see him on Wednesday night when the week is at its height, right at the center, but not quite all there. The world behind his eyes through a tiny crack lies between the other days I fall through right away. Wednesday guy says he's not a guy but a hologram, a projection from all the pretty dreams of an ugly man. He says the day that his father died was like the day that his life began. He'll never love me like he hates that man. Oh no. He likes to starve himself until he's frail and skinny as a marionette, as thin as real men get. Plenty of girls would like to bring him back to life, but when he slouches in, he's got no strings on him. Wednesday guy is awake all night like the city is, decorating his walls with all his prescription slips. I am a twig that he stumbled on with his clumsy little pigeon toes. He'll never love me like he loves himself. Oh no. This next song is called Show Me Your Facebook. And I thought it was about the state of the world today, but it's actually just about me. I bought such sexy pants today. And Facebook shows Nick far away in his blonde girlfriend's arms, wrapped in a bed sheet. Oh, he used to be so shy. He was a nerdy guy. Things will never be the same. Nick, show me your Facebook page. Show me how love is made. Show me how far you came. Let me see your love. Let me see your love. Show me how love is made. My virginity turns 23. Chumming Sean's status update in his pocket. Puts my hands where his wife's should be. In his profile they wear matching hard lockets. Oh, Sean, show me your Facebook page. Show me your wedding ring. Show me your baby name. Oh, love is so cute on you. Seems like you know it too. Brunette so sweet, I do. Let me see your love. Let me see your love. Show me how love is made. I once heard a wise man say, we are all one anyway, and as we go through time, we all will become what we seek. So I am her, and she is me. Oh, show me your Facebook page. I wanna hurt myself. Show me your everything. Once there was a look you gave, something that I could save. I took it home with me for all eternity. Let me see your love. Let me see your love. Show me how love is made.
Samantha Echo, thank you so much for being here
You're
on our Live and
welcome.
Local program here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sure
It's an
thing.
honor.
So, can you tell us, reiterate the names of the two songs of the, I'll say, collectively nerdy themed tunes that you offered us today, and a little bit about the genesis behind the songs,
Okay, so the first one was Wednesday Guy.
right?
The second one is Show Me Your Facebook. So the first one I wrote, I guess like 3.5 years ago. And it's sort of about, it's about several different people that I fancied in my day. It's not about one person, but it's sort of about a type of person. And it's about how sometimes you're attracted to the damaged qualities in somebody, and that kind of reflects your own damage. And the tune just kind of came to me in my head. And I sort of just married the two of them. Show Me Your Facebook page is kind of about, it's about Facebook, but it's also about loneliness. It's just about kind of sitting in your room, pining away for people that you can't have, and sort of how social media has given us a new channel to do that. It's kind of like a torch song for our time.
There's so many turns of phrases that I was trying really hard to catch. and you are an interesting lyricist.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so that kind of strikes you right away with your songs. It's like, okay, this is someone I need to kind of really listen to catch
Yeah.
all the little clever things you're saying.
Yeah.
Pulling back, instead of like, I was, to be honest, trying to think, oh my gosh, I was retaining 2 or 3 things that were especially kind of funny to me, and
That's fine.
but I decided, you know what, I'm for the sake of the time frame we have for this interview, I was going to instead just make a general comment, and that is, there is, for me, in your music and in your words in particular, in your presentation, sort of this simultaneous wisdom, like a woman beyond her years, and also kind of
Absolutely.
innocent and purity, both at the same time. And
Well, that can all be explained by my horoscope.
okay.
I mean, just put that out there.
Okay.
Kevin will understand. Kevin's wife will understand. It's just, I'm like
For those listening at home, that'd be Kevin Delaney from an earlier podcast.
yeah, I love him. I'm such a fan. He's a beautiful man. So yeah, his wife is a feng shui counselor and
That's
also an astrologer, or a lay astrologer, I guess, and I am too. So like, I'm a Pisces, and that is the last sign of the zodiac. My birthday's coming up in 3 days. That's why I've been in a really weird mood. And so Pisces is kind of it's the final sign of the zodiac, and it exists entirely in the spiritual realm. It's known as like the old soul of the zodiac. My rising sign, which is basically, depends on what time of day you were born. I was born at 7:53 a.m. And the rising sign is like how you appear to the world, and mine is Aries, and that's the first sign of the zodiac, and that's the baby, but also the military commander. So I have like all these, and you can take, astrology. I know not a lot of people don't believe in it, but for me, it's like, to me, it makes sense. To me, it's just a spiritual, psychological exercise. And I always kind of felt like I was simultaneously an old soul and also kind of stunted. And I felt that way since I was like 5. And so I think that really comes out in my music. So it's cool that you picked up on that, because it's a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that I feel like is a tightrope is for all songwriters who aspire to have social commentary in any way, that can just be the death knell for any
totally,
song.
yeah.
No, and I really like the fact of the Facebook it is like an observation of the social scene.
Yeah.
And what intimacy and privacy
Yeah.
where is depth.
Right.
And but you do
Yeah.
it in a way that doesn't sound preachy.
Yeah.
It's still got an intimate, personal vibe to
Right.
it. So I was like,
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, to just say one more thing about that song. Sorry, Aaron, did you want to?
No, I don't want to say anything ever again.
Oh my
No, I'm
God.
just totally teasing. No,
my
I was
producer got my
going to
friends.
add to it. No,
Yeah, you can add it, you
I was
can
going
add
to
it.
add John said, and it doesn't. See, I try not to speak when it's like, we'll just keep redundant things.
Redundant?
There's a it's silly time now. There's a self-awareness to your music. I think
thank
throughout
you.
both for songs, there's a self-awareness to, like we said, wisdom earlier, poking on that theme a little bit. There's
Yeah.
a self-awareness not only of your own life, obviously, but the social commentary as well. The context within yourself, within the social construct of the Facebook per se, or the
Yeah.
relationship per se of Wednesday guys, of saying like, how do we deal with this recurring theme with these people that keep popping in our real life, and it happens the same way all the time.
Yeah, no,
You know?
that's a good way of putting it, actually. It's just like, it's hard for me because my songs are very autobiographical, and I don't like to share that many details about myself. Like, sometimes when I'm asked, it's like, it's embarrassing. Like, they're both embarrassing songs, especially the Facebook song, if you look particularly in the second verse. And it's
I
like,
refuse.
But the thing is, you got to print out my lyrics and then like do a whole exegesis,
That's right.
explication. Anyway, so.
Is that
but-
what criminals do when they paint out the numbers
No,
and they tape
that
it
is
to the...
not
no,
what
that's
criminals
not
do.
it
That
is.
is what
Okay.
English students do.
English students,
Yeah,
excellent.
in college. So, but no, it is interesting because Jonathan it's hard for me to talk about the Facebook song actually because I wrote it a long time ago. I wrote it actually like several years ago, and it sort of means different things to me now. But what you said about intimacy and what is intimacy, the final line, the line of the final chorus
once there was a look you gave, something that I could save, I took it home with me for all eternity. Let me see your love. It's kind of a revelation of what intimacy. It's like the opposite of a Facebook page. It's somebody just looking into your eyes and like showing you that they can't hide their feelings for you. And so she's in the song, the narrator or me is remembering that moment she had with those people and how assuring herself that nothing can take that away from her, no matter how many pictures he posts with his new girlfriend or wife, Right. And it's sort of like, it's these two contradictory elements, like intimacy versus what we think intimacy is and how we present it. So it's this very, like, on the surface, it seems like kind of a silly song, but it actually is an exploration of intimacy and depth. And I think part of the reason it works is because I thought of the tune first, and the tune is kind of like, it's not a sad tune, but it has a kind of longing to it. It's kind of like, it's a ballad. It's like an explosive, poignant ballad. And so I'm like, I'm just going to put lyrics about Facebook and have an absolutely serious song about Facebook. So it kind of like, it has all these, that's why it has all those contradictory elements in it.
Well, it absolutely works. And your motif, so to speak, like disguised through your songs, you also manifest in your performances. We didn't see it so much today, but maybe we'll see it again sometime, maybe in the second act.
Yeah.
Because do you or do you not confess with your hand raised, perform with fairy wings most of the time?
Most of the time, yeah. I feel bad because these are my substitute teacher wings.
Right.
Because what happened was I started performing in fairy wings a few years ago. Right. I was actually at the music video release party for the music video Facebook page.
Right.
Don't watch that video if you mind the sight of blood.
I'll never watch it again. I have seen it.
He has seen it. Yeah, it's a good video. But it was for the music video release, and it was a Halloween-themed concert because it made sense because the video is horror-themed. So I dressed up as Delirium from the Sandman series,
right?
Who's the goddess of madness, and I wore these ripped-up fairy wings. And something happened to me when I wore them, and I just felt really, really good. Like, I felt like this is who I am. And I started wearing fairy wings on stage all the time. And then at one concert, I didn't wear them, and people complained that I wasn't wearing them. So I went out and I bought these wings at there happened to be a fantasy shop nearby. It was the other kind of fantasy shop. Okay. And these were the only ones I could buy. This is like supposed to be like a naughty angel. So these aren't and they're kind of like plastic either. These aren't my favorite ones, but these are like my substitute ones that happened to be lying around my guitar case because I just felt I was in a little bit of a weird mood today, and I just kind of like.
It's great to have in case you don't have fairy wings break glass, and you have like, your substitute wings.
Yeah, these are my substitute ones, but they're there. They exist. Yeah.
Well, it's good to know. We had to set the public straight today because Samantha has performed for Inwood Artworks on numerous occasions, and I will say. People always have noticed and remarked about the fairy wings because I think it is your external motif, and not to mention, it's funny, like you have this obviously amazing instrument built inside of you, not the one you play, which is also equally astute and well done, I say. But but you have the thought and the wisdom, the temperament you put into your music. It's interesting this great physical dichotomy meeting that, which I think softens the blow for you and the audience in some ways. But like Jonathan says too, what you cover is fairly serious material. Yeah. So I think that just adds to the interest, and I'm not saying it's you gotta have a gimmick. It's not.
No, it's not about that.
It's not that.
Yeah, it's really
That's
not
what I'm
that.
trying to get at for people who don't know you. It's not a gimmicky thing. It actually adds to the complexity of your music and your live act because you play all over the place.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring us back from the fairy world a little back to Earth for a second, and ask more standard boilerplate question, if you don't mind. And that is, if you could just briefly tell us one or two of. I know that's hard to do. One or two of your main. Role models, musically, influences?
Okay, well, current or in the past?
Let's go with the past.
The past? Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I love Leonard Cohen. And like I said, I think of myself as the love child of Leonard Cohen and Disney princess. And I actually learned to sing by imitating Judy Kuhn, who's the voice of Pocahontas in the Disney movie Pocahontas. And whatever you want to say about that movie, it's flawed. The music from it is really brilliant. And especially like the song Colors of the Wind, which is the first song that I ever really taught myself. when I was about 6 years old. It's sort of, I think it should replace the national anthem. It's just such a beautiful message, but it also has this great melody. So I would sort of I would listen to her sing that song, and then I would just sing it over and over again to myself and imagine that I was Pocahontas. And that's kind of how I taught myself, and how I learned that I was a really good singer. And then I guess, who else? I mean, I like Judy Garland, also an influence.
I was going to say there's a cabaret
yeah.
element to your performance.
Yeah, and Judy Garland, I sort of think of her, she's like the patron saint. She's like the martyred, like almost Christ-like figure of musical theater, because it's sort of like she shows us all this, like, you know, she became well known at a very young age. She played this iconic role, you know, Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz, and that movie was a huge influence on me in a lot of different ways. And she was basically expected to perform these superhuman feats, and the people behind the scenes were making her take all these drugs so that she could function, and it eventually like drove her crazy. She's almost like this like Ophelia like, you know, sort of martyred figure who sort of like she sacrificed herself so that we could be entertained. And I've never really forgotten that, because like I was also involved in show business at an early age, not as, obviously I wasn't as famous, but I was sort of pushed out into the spotlight when I didn't always want to be, when I was very young, when I was like 7. And I had one singing teacher in particular who was kind of abusive. And so I sort of like, I feel like I identify with Judy Garland like on a much like smaller scale. Mm-hmm. And then in terms of like other songwriters, I mean, you know, obviously I'm very musical theater influenced, but I really like Joni Mitchell and Amanda Palmer, but I guess she's current, so yeah.
Okay. And if you're talking about your past, because I know you a little bit, you also have an opera influence as well,
yes,
right?
very much, yeah.
Yeah. So that informs your work. It creeps into your work.
Oh, totally, yeah. I'm sure it does. You can take the girl out of the opera, but you can't take the opera out of the girl.
Well, or so they say in the productions themselves.
Yeah.
So talk about the past, moving to the future. What's next for you coming up, besides the songs you're going to play?
Oh, well, I mean, I've never really done a full-length record before, and I have a few different ideas for concept albums. So, I mean, I'd like to get on a label, not like a big label, maybe an indie label. That's my dream. I'd like to go on a proper tour, especially of like England. I'm mad at them right now for obvious reasons, but like I have a lot of friends there, and it'd be fun to do like an actual tour. And I've been working on, you know, jumping back into the musical theater loop again, as you know.
I do.
Covertly, top secret.
Whole different program.
Business, yeah.
Next year, maybe.
We'll see. Next year, maybe.
We'll talk about it
before
next
we
year.
digress into a Brexit discussion.
Yes.
It was my fault.
What are we gonna hear next from you?
I'm gonna do a song called Nick's Mom. I guess I'll put my fairy wings on.
What was that again? The title?
Nick's Mom.
Nick's Mom.
The fairy wings are absolutely necessary for the song.
Yeah, they are.
Great. So, while Samantha just goes out and busks in the middle of our program, we're just going to, we're so happy to have her here. It's really great. So once again, everybody, Samantha Echo.
always interested in the things that I am allegedly doing with my life, even if the list is short and my smile is tense. I don't understand what she sees in me. Nick flew across the ocean cold when he was only 12 years old to interview the earthquake victims in Gujarat. No one ever gets near the level he's at. Someday I will open my eyes, wake up from my coma in my glass coffin, see that everyone and everything I ever loved is a picture on my phone. Walking through the desert you drool, loneliness and love start with the same letter. I am walking toward a mirage because I don't know any better. La 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 la. Somebody she wants to see, somebody she wants to help, if only she really could. And oh, every time she looks for me, I wish that I could find myself, if only for her own good. Someday I will open my eyes, wake up from my coma in my glass coffin, see that everyone and everything I ever loved is a picture on my phone. Walking through the desert you drool, loneliness and love start with the same letter. I am walking toward a mirage because I don't know any better. La 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 la. I wish Nick loved me like his mom does.
Samantha, that was fun, outrageous, and delightful.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so great to have you. And
It's great to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. Definitely have to make sure to say that our listeners will want to know where they can see you next, and also where they might be able to purchase your music or just listen to more of your songs.
Yeah, well, I actually have a lot of stuff on Spotify. So if you just go to Spotify and type in the name Samantha Echo, it's spelled just like it sounds, just like Samantha, the word Echo. You can listen to all my stuff there, and I am particularly proud of my music videos. So go to my YouTube page, which is just, again, just go to YouTube and look up Samantha Echo. My website, samanthaecho.com. And my next concert is at the West End Lounge on 107th Street. So not too hard to get to from the neighborhood. And it's at 8 p.m. on March. Wow, I'm blanking. It's the Friday.
Well, we can find it
yes,
on your website.
and I think it's March. Oh my God.
Maybe you
it's
should
embarrassing.
visit your website.
Maybe I should visit my website to find out. Yeah, I just blanked. I think it's March 6th.
March 7th?
It's a Friday night.
Gary
and
says it's March 7th.
it's March 6th, yeah.
No, do I hear 5?
It's March 6th
It's
at
March
8
6th.
p.m. I got confused. Yeah, sorry. Embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, March 6th at 8 p.m. at the West End Lounge on 107th.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Samantha, for being here. As always, our listeners will want to find you, and we'll make sure they get those links, and we'll put it also on the Inwood Artworks website through Inwood Artworks On Air. So, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You bet. So, wonderful to have Samantha Echo on the show. Like all other artists we've had here, and we appreciate you for joining us here on Live and Local. It's part of Inwood Artworks On Air, where we showcase musicians that make their home in or around Inwood in New York City. Be sure to follow us at Inwood Artworks and at Inwood Artworks NYC on the web to keep up with all we do, which includes the Inwood Film Festival, Filmworks Al Fresco, pop-up art galleries, more live performances, and a whole bunch of other programming that we covertly keep until later. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll have more editions of Live and Local coming up. So this is Aaron Sims
And I'm Jonathan Bell.
for Inwood Artworks On Air.